Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Frida Tate and this is my better half and his name is James Tate. Yeah, and so in this video we are actually going to give you a spiel of how we met. We've been asked this question so many times, and if I had $1 each time I was asked that question, I'd be a millionaire by now. Without wasting much of your time, we're just gonna jump right into the video. So, how did we meet?
We first got in touch with each other on a website across the internet. It was called Afrointroductions.
That's it.
Or something like that.
Afrointroductions. Yes, that's where we first met. And so we got in touch and we communicated. We exchanged contacts. We communicated for about 3-4 months. And this guy was like, I want to come and see you in person, meet you in person. Honestly speaking, I didn't think anything much was gonna come out of that, because personally, I had never met anybody like a role model that met somebody on the internet and they got married and they lived happily ever after. And I was like, this guy must be serious.
It's a long way.
I know it's a long way, and to travel all the way from Canada to Zambia, that's gonna be serious.
Not coming over to go to McDonald's.
Yeah, and before that, I didn't take him seriously. I honestly did not take him serious. But after that, he sent me an itinerary of his planned trip and everything, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is serious. But then I didn't want him to travel all the way to Zambia only to tell him that I didn't like him or I didn't want him and things like that. First of all, I thought he was cute, I thought he was handsome, and I did like him like that. But then my preference was for a taller guy, somebody that was taller than me. How do I find out how tall he is?
Ask.
I did, which I did. I did something sneaky. And he doesn't know this story up to now.
Even to now, I'm finding out now?
Yeah.
17 years later.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, but you know, it's a good thing that we are doing this video. It's a good thing that those people have been curious, those people have been asking us and all that.
How did you find out how tall I was?
So, what I did is I asked him how tall he was. And he did tell me that he was
6'1".
Yeah, 6'1". But then I'm like, what the heck is that? What I did is I went, because I was working for USA at the time. This person, we were friends. So he was a bit taller than me. And so I went and asked him how tall he was. Then he told me that he was 6 foot or something like that. And I was like, oh, so 6'1", that's
about the same.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, pretty good.
That's a good thing. So
I'm tall, but not freakishly tall.
Yeah, so I went back and I brought to him and I was like, okay, yeah, sure, you can come.
What if I had been 5'9"?
But you were not.
Oh.
You were not.
Okay.
So I'm not even gonna go there.
It's a good thing.
I'm not gonna talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, so anyways, yeah. The date came when he had planned the trip and he he was on a plane to come and see me in person.
A long trip.
I know.
Oh, man.
I remember when he got to London, because he went through London and then flew to Lusaka. He called me. He was like, I'm in London.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. But at the same time, it was kind of freaky for me.
He's getting closer.
I know, he's getting closer.
He's not stopping. I'm like the Terminator, yo.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the British Airways was arriving in the morning.
And
so
British Airways, thumbs up.
Yeah.
The Times said, we're not sponsored by them, but I'm impressed with British Airways.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
And then the following morning, I went to the airport to go and fetch him, and yeah, I looked at him and he's kind of cute. He's cuter than in pictures.
And when I saw her at the airport, I was like, oh yeah, that was all right.
Yeah.
I thought from your pictures on the site, yeah, she looks very nice.
Mm-hmm.
But then in person, it's, sometimes you see some people, they're photogenic and you see them in a picture and then you see them in person and you're like, huh? But there's some people, you see them in a picture and they're like, eh, but then you see them in person and there's something about the way they are in face to face that they have extra.
Yeah.
And for her, in her pictures is nice to start with, but in person even more. Like if you think she looks nice here on TV, she looks even better in person.
Yeah, well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's true.
And we left the airport and went home, and so the Zambian tour began.
Yeah.
So we went to Mfuwe, we went to Livingston, we went to Kitwe, because at the time my parents lived in Kitwe. So when we went to Kitwe, that's when he told my parents that he was interested in marrying me. At the time we were talking maybe 6 months down the road, we're gonna get married and stuff like that. After Kitwe, we went to Livingston, and when on our way from Livingston, it was like, okay, I want us to get married before I go back to Canada. And this was less than 9 days of meeting. For a moment, I was like, I don't think I want to do that. But at the same time, he gave me his rationale, his reasoning as to why he wanted us to get married that fast. And what was your reasoning?
Okay, I meet this girl. I'm at the age, I'm at the point in my life where that's what I'm thinking about, is getting married. And I come over here because, I want to confirm, right? I'm not really coming over, I wonder. I'm sort of like, I want to confirm. How's her personality? How's her character? Yeah, the looks, okay, because when you're meeting a person, that's the first thing you can tell is how they look. But to see them the way they are on the inside, you need to meet them. And after being here, I had the feeling that I could sort of see with my mind her character and her personality. And she's interesting. She's got a job, like a pretty interesting job too. And the character seems to be good. We're getting along good. There's a good vibe. And to me, she looks like a supermodel. I mean, who am I going to find that's better than this? No, she's as close to perfect as, nobody's perfect, but she's as close to perfect as I figured I was ever going to see. Then what am I going to do? No, I'm not going to go home. I'm not going to let some other guy come slithering on in and take it and go. So I was decisive. I made up my mind and I pushed a little bit, and I think we were both on the same page, and that was
it. Because when you explained to me that it's so expensive to travel, even with his job and the kind of money that he was making, but just every like just coming here to Zambia to see me or go on a date and stuff like that. That was kind of expensive. So I heard him. I was like, okay, that's
Makes sense.
that makes sense. And so we put in the application to go get married. Although my relatives did not, were not jumping.
Not quite so enthusiastic.
Yeah, they were not enthusiastic about us getting married after 9 days.
Your sister in
Yeah.
particular, there was
So-
reluctant.
Yeah. So they said, okay, why don't you just wait until in 6 months and then you guys can get married.
No.
Then I was like, I gave them my rationale as well. I'm here, he's there. Like, you cannot know somebody that well if you are, in a long distance relationship and stuff like that. And so based on that, I was like, okay, yeah, sure, let's get married. Let's go get married. So we put in the application for marriage at the Civic Center. We were given a date to go get married, and we went and got married. And it was funny, we didn't even have rings when we went to get married, did we? Because
Was there like, didn't we get the simple band, and then the ring came, the diamond ring came after?
yeah, we may have gotten some rings from Game, shout out Game. For the marriage, we got simple rings at
Wedding bands.
wedding bands.
Right.
Yeah, wedding bands. And we went and got married. And bam, after 9 days.
And it felt weird, like all of a sudden, one day you're single.
I know, one day you're single and the next day you're married.
I remember getting back to Canada on the airport, and it was 2004, and I was standing around one of those airport type stores or restaurants or whatever, and I had my suitcase going behind me, and I was like, I'm married now, like, and that just felt weird, but it was not in a bad way, like it felt weird, but in a good way.
Yeah, and it's so, here is another funny story. I don't think I've told you that story before. I went back to work, and I hadn't told anybody at work that I was married. Here is how they found out. Because he was going back to Canada, we decided that he can go ahead and take the original marriage certificate with him in case he wanted to do anything with it, like apply for papers and stuff like that. So I went and started copying it. The copier had run out of paper. I had already plugged in the number I want 2 copies or whatever. With technology and everything, I didn't erase what I had programmed in the thing. And then when someone came and put the paper, I just went ahead and copied, like reprogrammed it. Not reprogrammed it, but
Scanned or something.
Went ahead and printed out the copies that I wanted. And then I just got the copies that I printed that time, and I went back to my office.
And
then someone who was, because this is a printer or a copier, shared copier in the office, all right? Someone else came to use the copier, and they see a marriage license, a marriage certificate,
did
it's
they by accident?
It's my name on. I'm a married woman. Instead of them coming right to my office and telling me that, okay, here is your copies, you left them in the printer and whatnot, they went and started the office gossip. here is Frida. Yesterday she was a single woman, and today she's married.
Girl, you've been holding out on us.
There you go. I know. So I know my boss heard, like, it got to the ears of my boss, and my boss called me in the office and it was like, oh, congratulations, you got married. I was like, oh, okay, thank you. Okay, thank you. And then she put out, and she's late, unfortunately. But anyway, she went ahead and did that mail blast or whatever, announcing my marriage, to everybody, and everybody came to know that I was off the market. I was no longer on the market. I was a married woman now. Yeah, so that's how we met, and that's how we got married. And because he was missing the wife 2 months down the road, he said he wanted to come and visit me. We didn't have like a wedding ceremony or anything. Then we decided that we're just gonna do something, for the family and to celebrate with the family and everything. And so we started preparing, but those preparations started piling up. People really wanted to dance, people really wanted to drink, people wanted to eat and everything. And so it ended up being a full-blown wedding.
I came over in April, and then the social thing was in
July. Yes.
And here, April's a nice, mild, sort of rainy month, I guess. But July is kind of cold.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm. So in July he came and we had a ceremony, and so that's our love story. Has it been good? Yes, it has. Do we experience problems sometimes? Yes, we do. But which marriage doesn't have problems? Okay? We are just human beings, but we still we still love each other as ever.
A bit like a roller coaster. You go up, you go down, you go up, you go. But the average is above. Like, I think it's above average. I've always been glad.
Yeah.
Never thought. In that 17 years.
17 years. We've been married now, and we have 5 kids together.
Here's number 5.
This is number 5. He wants to be a baby still. Yeah, and so that's our love story. So you guys, I think that anybody ask me now how we met, and I'll just direct them to this video, because I cannot explain to everybody
the whole story
and everything. So this is the reason that we decided to do this story. All right?
This is your girl. This is your girl.
Yeah. So hopefully you enjoyed this story. That's our love story. That's how I met this guy, and that's how I got married to this guy. This has been your girl, Frida Tate. If you're not yet subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel and turn on that post notification button, so each time I upload a brand new video, you are notified. Bye guys.